Okay, good day everyone. You're welcome to the information session with Jozech Business School. Pardon me. Good day everyone. Please let's take the opening prayer. Actually, let's bow our head for a short prayer. Almighty Father, we thank you for this day. We've been preparing and we are now here. We thank you for everyone who has joined us physically and virtually. And we commit the program into your hands. We ask you to guide of us and bless it. And at the end of it, we can focus to honor your holy name. Thank you, Almighty Father. For in Jesus' name we are praying. Amen. Good day, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Albert Habu, and I'd like to welcome you finally to the information session on business analysis with Jozech Business School. We have been preparing for this day and it's finally here. And I'd like to thank everyone that is in attendance, physically and virtually. And hope that at the end of the session, you will be happy you attended because you would have learned a lot about the field of business analysis and how Joseph Business School can launch you solidly into that career. Thank you all so much again, and I'll be your bus driver for the session. At this point, I'd like to introduce some members of the team so that we are conversant with some structures the school has. And I'll be starting with Mr. Sam Olajide, who is in charge of the digital marketing class, is an instructor and also in charge of infrastructure. Mr. Sam, thank you for being here. I also like to welcome Miss Chioma Imefo, and she's in charge of the student records and welfare. Thank you for being here. Then to Mr. Victor Azu, who is in charge of IT and infrastructure. Thank you for being here. Then to Mrs. Esther Orimolade, who is our administrative and front desk officer. Thank you for also being here. Then Mr. Diola Oyebamiji, who is in charge of finance and accounts. Thank you so much for being here. Then Miss Peace Ndukwe, yes, she's our student learning management system administrator. Thank you so much for your hard work. We appreciate you. Mr. Stephen Olawoye, who is in charge of property and compliance. Thank you so much for being here. And then to my humble self, Mrs. Elizabeth Albert Habu, I am the registrar of the school. And at this junction, I would honorably welcome the principal of the school, the person of Barrister Trix Emily, to take us further into the discussion. Sir, the floor is yours. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is the day indeed we are waiting for. I would like to begin this discussion by dividing it into three phases. The first section will be who is a business analyst and what does it take to be a business analyst. Second section will be how would Joseph Business School help in your training as a business analyst, help you achieve your aspirations and make a career in business analysis. And the last one, how do we help you to place you in a comfortable and very good job? In our advert, we have said that if you successfully become a business analyst, you can earn up to £800 a day for remotely from a company in UK or abroad with overseas. In Nigeria, there's job vacancies, which as advertised, go up to 3 million a month. So the first question is, who is a business analyst? A business analyst is a person who processes, interprets documents, business processes, products and services, and software through analysis of the data to produce an information. The role of a business analyst is to ensure business efficiency through their knowledge of both IT and also the business functions. So therefore, a business analyst is like somebody who will stand between the business stakeholders with their requirements and also how to attain the business objects, which is market share, profitability, customer service, and employee retention. All these things are things a business analyst understands and also be able to relate it to the IT, the developer of the system, because we now know that system is a way of doing things in any organization. It could be computer-based system or it can be a combination of both. So you need somebody that will deal with it because these days there are a lot of complex business problems, and these business problems require different solutions. So a business analyst is somebody who can now know whether it's a business that will require re-engineering or a brand system that requires a new system that works using the business process models or improvement. And to go about this, all these complex issues, we'll be using uh, greatly H2. Greatly is a tool of UML, Unified Modeling Language. So this unified modeling language is what you use to model solutions to any business problem. That solutions will be modeled in a graphic form because we know that graphic notations is easy learning. And when that is done, we use different aspects of the diagram. There are 12 in number. Those diagrams are divided into phases, structural and behavioral. They will give you more details as time goes on, but the idea is that once you master this UML, it will help you to model solutions because we have known that when there's a complex problem, we divide it into chunks, and that is called stepwise refinement process. And those chunks, when they are modeled and dealt with individually, couple them together, that will help you achieve your success. Our training will be using a case study. Most of our case studies will be round-up case studies, up to 20 pages. So that by the time you finish reading the first one, first page to the last page, you will not discover that if you don't have a, you have not broken them down, you'll be lost. So the idea is that it will help us master these 12 different diagrams. Some of them are called different names, but the one that I will lay emphasis is on use case. That is one that gives you ability to master the behavioral patterns of the external factors. Alright, when we are finished, because we are using a case study method, we'll be able to apply all these principles to the issues. And at the end of the day, you will be able to come up with the solutions and do your presentation. And then you'll be able to also be able to understand all the principles, all the issues detailed in our study. Then you can competently use it as an example that I have a complex issue. This is how I get it. These are the things I did. These are the trending technologies I recommended. For example, one of the areas that has been a brain of problem in Nigeria has been the level of architecture. So as a business analyst, you'll be able to deal with the architecture. Because we use NT architecture, whereby we divide different layers of deployment, web server, integration, and database. 4 layers. So you'll be able to specify the kind of layer that will work best. Like you can see what's happening in the branch. For example, so much distress errors. Because each time there's too many transactions going on, the network will break down. If you had divided into layers, it could have been like the incorporated integration database who can deal with unlimited transactions. It is very easy to be like anywhere in the world during the game. These are the basic problems we will solve it. Different complicated in telecom, in manufacturing, in banking. So that is the essence. And when we finish, at the beginning of this training, each candidate will be assigned a case study. So the only way you will not say he's a business analyst is when you have solved all the business problems in that case study. And then the day he finishes, he will do a presentation using a various way to show how he dealt with the problem, the principles he has applied, and how the problem becomes a solution. So that each time he wants to go for, am I a business analyst? He could show what he dealt with. So that's a practical training. Our methodology is more of case study. We want to use that as a showcase because there have been a lot of issues. Business analysis is not certification. It's the ability to apply those principles, be able to recommend what is the trending technology on each of the things you see. And then we'll start with requirement gathering. So many areas we will deal with. And when we are finished on our presentation day, we tend to have recruiters who will watch your presentation and there and then if you are made your requirements, you are offered the opportunity. So that's why I say you guaranteed at the end of the training, you will offer the opportunity depending on the areas you have modelled. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the insights. We really appreciate it. And then at this time, we would like people to ask questions about the course and everything you've learned. It could be general on business analysis, it could be specific direct to the school, that is to Jozech Business School. So please, if you have questions, please send them in. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Google Meet, and here physically. So do we have anyone here physically who would like to ask a question? Anyone? I'm checking the Google Meet as we speak and the YouTube. Please send in your questions physically. Anybody? Okay, sir. So some people are confused about business analysis in general. I've heard people ask me what's the difference between business analysis and data analytics. Are they the same thing? What's the difference? And how can one specialize on business analysis?
Data analysis is when you have, the different types of data. The essence of data is like the only way to understand it is like look at the assets, attributes of the data. It is when that data produces a report, which is an information that you become. So you need to analyze different types of data, couple them, and then because that is the only way you can now use it for the final state, which is an information. That's a data analysis. A business analyst uses data, he analyzes data, but the only difference is that you understand the complexity of the problem. It goes beyond the data because data is more of an operation. But it goes beyond that because it will have other areas it's dealing with. Like, for example, if I now say to you a particular company, mention any company, what is the type of modeling you do? Is it something that you fundamentally change how they do things? Or is it something that you build a brand new system? Like, for example, when you have a legacy system, you want to turn it around in such a way that it responds to whatever you want. Then you now build up the system. So that system you are building will make use of data. But how you now deal with that complex issue, the business side of things. Remember that the essence of a business is to make profit, is to have market share, customer service. These are the components of the business. But the data is concerned about how the data is used. But when you now use all these solutions, business problems, that's a business analyst. But it's not sitting with the stakeholders and I'm also dealing with the development team IT. So that's the difference.
And then what are the specific career opportunities available in business analysis?
There are many of them. There are many of them. There are very various areas of business analysis. It could be that they are business focus. It could be the operation focus. It could be a project focus. It could be an enterprise focus. These are the areas that a business analyst can do. Quantitative focus. There are various areas. A business analyst can be a system analyst. It could be a system analyst, business system analyst, requirements engineer. It could be a process analyst. It could be a product manager. It could be a product owner, enterprise analyst, management consultant, business intelligence analyst, and data scientist. So there are many areas that cover the other business analysis. These are the areas is measured. Like most people who do not want to go too much technical, will do requirement, requirement engineer. Because the essence of requirement engineer, you interact with the users. You know what they want. You know exactly what you need to do. These are requirements. What is the object the business wants to achieve? Most business can go for market share. What most business go for profitability. That's it. Some people go for market share. You understand it with the way banks are structured. Like for example, if you ask what is the business, how will it describe you be? Because it's called that they believe in manual, they believe in using various kinds of brands to interact with different users. But the question is, have they been able to gather the requirement, the type of users they have? Because if you go to the ATM, you see crowd. Whereas you go to certain banks, you won't see anybody because they believe in technology. And all this is a combination of what any business analyst can do. Right? These are the different types. So in most cases, you don't have to be, you don't have to go into technical. You can choose different areas you want to work as a business analyst. It's all a contrast. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the explanation. So, for those people that always say business analyst, I was a, or maybe I was working as an IT specialist, how can I become a business analyst? You editor. So, despite your work experience, despite your education, you can become a business analyst. Okay.
Sorry, in addition to what you said, the major thing in our own approach is that if you want to deal with any problem, it's not something you read. IT is not something you read. Whatever your background, it's a case study. And that case study over 20 pages. And then you will now show you how to model each of the components of the problem. We list them out and now show how you dealt with each of them. And then the program, the tools we're using is called Greatly. It's a tool that helps. It's a UML case tool. Case tool is computer assisted software engineering. So that tool has been able to interpret UML. And then in that case tool, we have 12 diagrams. And each of the diagrams are divided into structure and behavioral. This diagram will show you specific things you will deal with the problem. And then, for example, if you are using class, it shows in the database. So these are the areas. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm this. No, there are something that done in notation, graphically, and it's easy to understand, to educate you to understand it, so that when you are going through it, you will now understand why you can solve a problem easily. All it requires is commitment, and anybody who is doing business analysis without a case study, by the time you finish reading it, it becomes a theory. But business analysis is not theory. Remember that the stakeholders, the owners, are relying on you to be able to deal with the developer. So therefore, you must know what is business and also understand what is IT. You don't have to be in detail. Like for example, if you do a class like I'm very well, the improvement in the technology now means that you can generate the code. You finish the class diagram, you just click generate code. You generate the code. So all these things you see people writing and writing and writing, it can be automated. All you need to do is to know the notation very well. And the notation are something that got in diagrams. So it's very easy to understand.
Thank you very, very much, sir. I believe everyone is getting it clearer now. It's so easy. The field of business analysis is a very interesting one. So we have a question online. Someone asked that here can anyone who studies business analysis work? What fields, what company, what industries can such a person work?
As a matter of fact, it cuts across any industry. If you decide to work in a bank, that means you can deal with a case study on the bank. And that case study will give you opportunity to understand what you need to work in that particular industry. And once you master it, what we intend to do at the end of your presentation, based on the case study, you will see banks who are interested to know how you solve the problem. because it's based on a case study. They contract which amount of money to deal with. Then you now solve it. It's easy to revive banks on your presentation with the case study and your solutions. So they automatically they watch your presentation because it will be like a projector where you are showing with the system, showing what you did, how you solve it, and all the technology you recommended, how you deal with different aspects of it. So when they see that, it's automatic. It has been done everywhere in the world. Most of the people that do the MBA are practical. Once they finish, the vertical recruiter will take them on immediately. So we tend to model that solution. That's why we say at the end of the training, intensive for 6 weeks, uh, you will be guaranteed of employment because the people that will come for your presentation are the particular people you have modeled their solutions. That's the difference. I was going through a program that said 5 days. You cannot even 6 weeks is really compressed. Because if you are dealing with a case study that's over 20 pages, so how can you read by the time you finish reading from A to B, you've forgotten it. So how can you now deal with because you cannot miss any aspect of the problem because the system will miss it. So that means you have to be the system you are recommending and system you are modeling will be complete to deal with all the issues. And that's why we say in analyzing the complex issues, we will not know the kind of issues. And then we'll not do what they call stepwise refinement process. That means when you break all the issues into chunks and model it, and at the end of the day, couple them back. And that will produce the business objective, the business efficiency you are improving.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you. Our questions online are getting very interesting. So someone asked a question, and then before I read it out, I need to say something about it. Um, they said, okay, business analytics, data analytics, it thrives more in a foreign country than in Nigeria. That Nigeria seems to want to copy everything the white man is doing, and that's why they changed a lot of job titles. For example, maybe business developer before is now business analyst, but you are doing the same thing. Everybody is now attaching analyst to all the job titles available. So this person asked, can business analysts thrive in a country like Nigeria that is a real business analyst? Can you thrive in Nigeria?
Yes, this is where it needed more. It's not even Nigeria needs it because all the development they did in Nigeria is not based on the work of a business analyst. Because if you ask a developer to develop a system, for example, our technical staff ask him to do anything, he assumes everybody knows it. He develops something that when you try it, you don't see it. That has been the trend. Most of the system in Nigeria is based on what they call client server. That has been phased out. You can why is it that you're in Nigeria you get this strength? Yeah, because they are not based on NT architecture. These are the things a business analyst do. Remember, a business analyst is the person who processes, interprets, document and all the business processes, both as a software through analysis of data. So they don't do it. What they do is that they take this business developer is not the same thing as a business analyst. A business developer is deal with an aspect of a business. Remember, the business analyst understand the business side of things, understand the IT side of things. So it's like a middleman that deals with all the issues. If you are dealing with the business analysis, depending on the complex the nature of the problem, the first thing that you do is to know the kind of things that is confronting them. Is it something that requires business process reengineering? Is it something that requires business process improvement? And then it's not something that you say is for overseas. It is global. It's global, and because there's not much business analyst in Nigeria. That's why now people now feel that it's something abroad. No, the area will start because, if, for example, if they give you a complex problem and you're able to solve it and show clearly how you solved it, automatically that's a reference point. If you are applying for anything or seeking a job, they will look at what you've done, look at the case study, how you solved it. Automatically, they will see that this is something that adds value. This is something that gives you business efficiency. The company will be interested because these days the business analyst understands the two sides. He knows the trading technology, he knows the trading issues in business, and at the end of the day, he will be able to come up with a proper solution. Remember that everywhere in the world, it is the business analyst that tells the developer what to do. It is because he understands what the needs of the owners, the business efficiency they want. If it's operational issues, he knows where to automate. He knows the level of interaction. He knows the level of structures that will be in place. He understands everything. So the developer now will now be able to follow what he has said because he has seen the business side of it, which is lost. Because if you look at any business in Nigeria, will you ask which one are they for? Are they for profit? Yes. Are they for market share? How are they going about it? Are they for customer service? How are they going about it? So these are the things the business analyst knows. And then you now begin to use UML case tool to show to the developer what and what you will need, how you want him to go about it. That is it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really love the way questions are rolling in online. So, sir, we have another question, and this is also very interesting. It says, with the way things are evolving and becoming outdated, does business analysis also go the same way? I mean, I believe the person is asking,
Yeah.
will business analysis also become outdated in the near future?
No, it's not outdated because a business has to evolve. A business has to do improve. Remember that there's room for improvement in any type of business. There's a room for re-engineering. Those who have been doing things, as much as like, this is what needed. Let us do the instance of IBM. IBM was a dominant computer company. When things were moving, they didn't move. Because if, for example, they engineered the process, they were able to capture the trends. So in an ideal situation, you need a business analyst who will always know the trending technology and how to apply it to maintain the market share, the business issues. They don't have it. So what the question would have been UML, because there are a lot of argument now that develop, there are a lot of UML. Is UML still relevant? Yes, because it gives you the education you need. When you now apply the education and understand it very well, now you begin to know the trending technology and how you apply it. Because you cannot deal with a complex issue just like that. They have been proven that when you use diagram notations, you understand an issue, then it's easy for you to now specify solution. Remember that business analysis is all about business solutions using IT. Because most of the system you have, what is a system? A system can be a combination of a human being, fax, telephone, and computer. Some will have an information system that don't require a human being, artificial intelligence. These are the things a business analyst will know. Solutions you need to provide. That's the 12 diagrams I told you will tell you where you need to automate, where you need to use, like use case. Tells you the level of actors. Where do you need to automate? If your customer makes a repeat order, sometimes you talk. There are many things areas because if I go through the 12 diagrams, it deals with different aspects. So the business analyst knows it. He is educated. He understands how the system will work. And then he knows how to provide solutions. That's the major thing. Solutions are not static. They're always evolving. Ability to understand it. That's why he says he knows side of business, he knows IT. So it's a combination of somebody that will take that solution and make sure they can use a developer who does not understand business. The system will not work. That is it.
Very solid, sir. Very, very, very solid. We have another question. This one says, how long does it take to become a good business analyst?
Yeah, we know that it's a continuous education. So it's not like you do it 2 years. But we say that our own methodology, we are using case methodology, case study methodology. We'll give you a problem. We estimate that if you are to do it 5 days a week, it will take 6 weeks. But that does not mean that when you finish modeling the solution, you just give up. It's a continuous exercise. But the important thing is to give you a proper footing, a proper to understand, to use the right case tool. And then when you use it, now it becomes easy for you to improve on other areas. Because as you grow in different areas of business side, it is easy for you to now know the trending technology. Right now, if you look at how things are happening, there are so many trending technology. Ability to match them to meet your business needs and business solution is something that's continuing because new things are coming up. There are a lot of issues of machine learning, artificial intelligence, but these are the areas that if you say artificial intelligence or machine learning, you will know how relevant it will be to your business object, the company you are helping. How can you apply it? You don't apply technology just like that, and then you expect the technology to drive your business function. You know your business needs, know your business solutions, then you now see whether those trading technology will help you to create efficiency. So it's forever evolving. That is it.
Thank you, Barrister Chicks. Thank you so much. We have another question. Someone is asking that what's the price of the course? That is the business analysis course. How much is it?
Because most of this our own is 500,000 because it's based on a case study and it's instructor led, one to one, and then it's intensive. So we know that within a space of when you finish it, because at the end of the presentation, a recruiter will be here. So we are guaranteeing you that you will be, if you are, we'll make sure you work towards your work and help you do a better presentation. So whatever money you have paid, you get it back. And if you want to know the real business analyst who can showcase the skills and tools you use, it's over 800 pounds a day in UK. And the good thing about it is that you can work remotely in Nigeria. Because all you need to do is to show that you understand what is to do and you show the solutions, how you did it, and how you were able to come up with business problem, solution to the business problem. You'll be doing that, and it's not something that's based on certificate. If, for example, you are very good in requirement engineering, requirement that you know that one very well. There are other areas, there are many areas that they could use you. And if you know all the combination of the areas as I mentioned, it is something that is anywhere. It's a job that's very remote because it deals with issues that has to come to you, you analyze it and come up with a solution. So there's a high prospect because it's a new area in Nigeria. The way we want to deal with it is that we use a case study that has complicated problem. Then you're not sure how you solve the problem. Remember you show how you solve the problem, that becomes an issue that you can present to anybody. Say, I have this issue, I have this case study, this is how I solve it. And these are the things I did. These are the trading technologies I've used. You don't have to use it, but you know exactly what each technology does. And then you match it to the business solution. Guaranteed. Because most of these things are contracted out. And they charge them good amount. Can you imagine you doing it? 3 million is just a tip of the iceberg. Because if, for example, let's just give an example. The bank contracts a problem to be solved or any of the technology, say they are paying 50 million. Then you can deal with it. And then won't you negotiate higher than 3 million?
Yes, yes. Thank you very, very much, sir. So the field of business analysis gives a wide opportunity to anyone. You can make much more. You've heard it all from Barrister. Let's take another question. We have someone who wants to ask a question here physically. Please, sir, can you use your mic? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone in the house. My name is Mr. Sabastin Okolonta. I want to personally appreciate you for this wonderful program, highly educative. In fact, it's a program for everyone to watch. Having said that, sir, in the earlier part of this program, you mentioned some problems, some challenges that database can solve. And I heard you vividly mentioned ATM and its associated problem, congestion of too much transactions, debiting without dispense, and tracking of all manner of problems associated with ATMs. So I want to really ask, is there any way out using your database can help in solving this matter? But since I personally observe that when customers are faced with these challenges, it makes them to be frustrated, thereby leading them to POS where they are prone to dangers of scammers. So is there any way out contrary to the banker's idea?
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, sir.
That problem is essentially a business analysis problem. When I mentioned UML, the case of credit, it has 12, all right, 12 diagrams. One of the diagrams deal with architecture. Look at the system they built. The web, the graphical interface in all the ATMs, some of them are not friendly. Some of them are loaded with something that is difficult. Then in most of them you need to have a web server. Web server is dedicated. It's not going to be something you run into different units. A dedicated web server. Then from web server you have what they call integration. Integration database, they don't have it. Integration database is one that has unlimited transactions and it can resolve issues in 1 minute. What do you have in them? They use a client server. When the system gets over a number of transactions it can allow, then it will not access most of them. So what happens is that some of them will be hanging, and then they come back, they will take your money, and they will not give you the return because it has not reached to the end. But if you have an integration server, like Oracle 9, for example, unlimited. So no matter how many people will come on a system, then that integration is not the database. The database is Oracle 8i or whatever database I use, Oracle 11. It's scattered everywhere. It could be 20. Have you ever gone to use Yahoo or Gmail? Do you ever have a problem? Do you know where they retrieve your data? A database could be in Australia, they're scattered. But the one that integrates it is the water, that water you have. Integrates it. So anytime you ask, if A is busy, he goes to C because the database is replicated all over the world. And then they now retrieve the information. But in Nigeria, what they have is that when this one is fade up, it's fade up. The next thing is stress error, network error. Network is. You know these kind of stories, I don't know whether you had it. It's so common because it's not system that are business analysis. If so a business analysis to do it, you will divide the layers. Then you will not make sure that as an internal database, that integration database will have every inaccurate in every city. They have a database. So when A is having problem, he goes to retrieve it from you. He will know. If you are doing any of these water, Gmail, do you even know where they get the data? Or you know that when you click open. But Nigeria they've given network. What is network? That has been first out in the 80s. So that's the work of a business analyst. You look at the business problem. This is what you say like a problem. How do you solve it? It's a business analyst that will pick it up and know where the problem is. If you UVA, for example, look at the type of users. You go there, you will see that will tell you that the system they develop is not friendly. Because most of the people that will come to do your ATM, they will need somebody that will help them. So the guy who designed that system never had make it easy. But if he's a business analyst who has a knowledge of requirement gathering, he will not know the type of users they have. That means the users that they have are the people that need a lot of friendly documents, not complicated. So that when they touch it, it will go on. And their web server will be dedicated. Because if you go most of the time, you see out of service. It's a business problem. And who will deal with it? It's a business. You don't see such things anywhere in the world. For example, you can't see something in UK anywhere out of service. You can't see it anywhere in the world. They will tell you that they beat you and they will take your money. And then when you go, they say, do a letter. You do a letter 3 days. All these things are something because the system is not responsive. It was not designed by a business because a business analyst will interact with the user and interact with the developer. That is all.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, sir, for answering the question. I believe you got some good answers to your question. And, sir, we have someone online who is building up on that question. So this person says that first off, are business analysts said to be the richest and most important in the world generally? That is that field. Is it considered as one of the richest and the most important? Then, if so, how come they are not put in the limelight? So, because you mentioned this whole ATM issue, let's use that as an example. It's a business problem. It's something a business analyst can solve. But here in Nigeria, it seems like just as you rightly said, people are not employing business analysts. That is the real people who can solve this problem. And this could also be the reason why it's been asking this question, because business analysts are not in the limelight. It's just the various other fields that are being considered, most important. So to answer your my question, sir, please would like you to speak more on it. Thank you.
No, the reason why is so, there are no trained business analysts in Nigeria. They don't use case study. A business analyst is not somebody that will read theories. Computers, as I said, is not based on theory. If you have a 20-page problem like the one you said, what are your solutions? If you show clearly the solutions and you recommend with the developers how it will go about, the banks will take it. They will jump on it. But because the people who are coming here, they see business analysts as the ordinary cost. It's a senior position. If you know stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders like owners, like shareholders. So anybody that interacts with shareholders is a senior position. Because in England, they pay you over 800 pounds a day. What does that mean? 500. You are great because they rely on you to come up with a solution. If, for example, your bank has a solution to all these dispense errors, and they don't do it as an advert, that no more dispense error. If you get any dispense error, we'll give you 5,000. Do you know how many customers you get? Because if you have to use ATM of UBA, and they said there will not be, because all the machines they use, they make sure that the thing has been ordered in such a way that it's seamless. Because these days they do contactless. So can you imagine when you come up with a solution and say avoid these issues? That these are the new trending technology, artificial intelligence. You do that, you won't get dispense error. So that is the work of a business analyst. But because in Nigeria they shortcut, everyone is shortcutting. Developers are taken over. So people will not think a developer knows exactly. No, it's the person at home can tell you what you need. Because if you look at all the business in Nigeria, it cannot on the face value say what is their business model. Let me ask you a question. What's their business model? You can't see it. But the business analyst will look at it immediately and notice that's the emphasis. If you look at GTB as a UBA, it's easy for you to know. GTB wants technology-driven services so that it could be self-service. UBA still believe in branches everywhere. With a teller one, teller two. Right? So that's the work of a business analyst. So that kind of company, we need a re-engineering fundamental to be in line with the latest trend. Have you seen it? So it's a senior position. They are very important in any organization. They are as good as because anybody who is working with the stakeholders, the owners of the business, who is that person? He understands what they want. Then he now tells developer. So developer cannot go and build what he wants. Developer will build what the owners want. Because every business has a major objects they are chasing. Profit is one of them. Majority will go for market share. Customer service, who believe more. Some will not say that employee is more important than customer service. Therefore, you must retain your employees. When MTN and as against Glo, you can see how Glo wants to enter the market share. But MTN, do you know the market share? Market share is almost 60%. And what is it that they are doing to maintain their market share? Product reliability. But they charge so much, but the people still prefer reliability. Glo will give you 1,000, 100,000 within 2 days. And then you not say, I better take the one that gives me the new money. Look at President. They'll be able to analyze their business, how they want to market share. And what did they do? They did it, and then up to today, has it been challenged? So that's the work of a business analyst. To know what is the problem, recommend it, know which one you are trying to deal with, and then you know how to use developers. Because a developer does not know the business side of things. So if you allow him, he will do. All right. So that's why it's considered a senior position overseas. So in Nigeria, because they do theory, it's not theory. If we want to be a business, what they say? Because this would have saying this and who did say, that kind of. Um, what problem did you solve? What is the case study? If you now, for example, I give you, because let me tell you, most of the countries in the world, if you look at the training they give for MBA and the training they give in Nigeria, that's called Nigeria is full of truth. But in all these universities, Harvard, you don't, nobody touch this. They give you a case study, 20 pages. Come on with the solution. You do it fast. That's why anywhere in the world, if you bring certificate, they don't care. But in Nigeria, they carry certificate. If you're a professor, like stupid. Anywhere you want to go interview on your distance, and you're saying program, they bring the laptop, which I say, Java, write this program. Write this within 1 hour. Then if you can do it, whether you did A level or you did whatever, they give you the job. But in Nigeria, someone will say, I did master, I did PhD, but you cannot write it. So a business analyst wants a certificate. It's a practical application of the business solution to that problem. And once you can do that, that's why I say 6 weeks is even too small because it's structured like guaranteed. Because you don't need to talk too much. This is the problem I have. This is my solution. And then the person looks at it. You say, wow, you solved this problem. Will you be arguing about to tell you or recruit? But if you're telling you're reading and talking, no solution, practical solution, we'll make it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So you mentioned something about certificates, and we have someone already asked about certificates. That is, if after taking the course with us, would they be granted certificates? In Nigeria, yeah, as you rightly mentioned, certificate is quite important to a lot of job seekers as well as even the human resource managers of different companies. They would like to see your qualifications on paper. But really, the trending, or let's say the evolving, and I even prefer it as the most preferred method of employing people should be practical testing. And that is what you get here. Practical testing. That is, instead of your CV on paper, come for interview and we'll test you on your skills there. We'll give you case studies, we'll give you, practical things, and we'll test you there. We know, yes, you can really do the work. So, sir, but to answer the question, will Joseph Business School be offering certificates at the end of the course, and how well recognized is it internationally?
Now we are doing case study approach. The recruiters that will deal with this will be present on your presentation. They will see you present the solution to a problem. They will see your case study. They recruit you because they have seen it. Certificate nowhere in the world you say if it's a junior level, those who have certificate without any practical experience, it's a junior level. But if you can say a 20-minute complicated problem, this is how you dealt with it. These are the training technology, how you dealt with issues. They see you present it, talk about it. They give you the job. It's not in London. That's how it comes. It's only in Nigeria they say certificate. What are you doing with it? You can have a certificate, you can pass the exam. There are many bodies that do exam. But are they real business analysts? Can they even solve a problem? There's a lot of distress problem, distress error, Nigerian blank. Can you imagine you coming up with a solution? And it's moving. So somebody tries it, it's working. So they will not ask you to go and visit. Do you know the irony in Nigeria? All those people that come from all those overseas, do they have any certificate? Do you realize that all these Chinese people, they don't have certificate? But the things they're doing, so days have come where we should downplay it. I've seen the experience of somebody with certificate doesn't even know it. Because Nigerians are always good with research. It is not theory, it's practical. And the good thing about our school that on the day of presentation, recruiters will be here who believe in what we are doing. Because before we start, they will see the case study and they were interested to know how you solve it. And when you finish solving it, automatically here in this office, they give you a employment letter. It's not gonna be based you looking for where to apply. The recruiters will be here. That's how we're doing it. We're not doing it based on Nigerian approach.
Okay. Thank you for your answer, sir. We have another question, and this is taking it further. So someone asked, can business analytics be used in international trade?
It's a business. It's a business. Anything business. Anything. Important thing that if you understand the 12 diagrams, you can see solutions. You begin to grow in business solutions. Do you understand? Whether international trade, whether anything, if the person then tells me the specific areas, I will tell him the solution now. Because the business analysis opens their mentality. And then there are three major areas that you can easily use: business process engineering, business process improvement, and business process modeling. And then whatever is the problem, you can refine them. You'll be able to bring it down to what they call stepwise refinement approach. That's it. It's anything business, whatever is in the move, anywhere, business analysis is applied. It doesn't have to.
Yes. So you've heard it, and I hope you're getting much more insight. Okay, so to take another question, so this person asks, is a business analyst same as a business development consultant? Are they the same? Do they do the same things? A business analyst and a business development consultant.
No, as I said earlier, a business analyst is person who processes, interprets, document business processes, hmm? Product and services, and software through analysis of data. A development consultant is somebody that brings up a business. Like, let's just give an example now. You are a small scale business. Hmm? You are you are more or less SME, and you want to become a medium size. What does it need to do for it to grow to that level? How does it go about? So it's essentially on the business thing, but this one is how you achieve the efficiency. That's a business analysis. For example, a developer can say, I need a merger and acquisition, but that would help me skyrocket. These are the things. But how would that process go through? How the efficiency of that go through? That's where business analysis. Analysis is different. They look like you said they develop, but they are not. The development has to do with product and services to the next step. But the other one is talking about efficiency of the process you have. How do I now analyze the data? Because let me tell you, when they say analyze of data, it means that the data you have, how does it become an information? You cannot take a management decision if it's not an information. If you have attributes, I have data. That data, when it's not processed, when it's analyzed, it becomes what? An information. That becomes an data. Then you can take it. Like I will need in access. When I said I will need to produce a report of the data, that report is what the management will do. But remember that you went through many data. If the data is not, the way to understand is that the attributes. Remember that you have a teacher, you have a character, you have a text, those things. So that's the work of a data analyst. But Access did it in a way that you can easily understand.
All right, thank you very much. We have about three questions more. So this one says, what guarantees a student getting a good job after taking the course in your school?
Yeah, it's very easy. Remember that we start with a case study, and at the end of the day, we present solutions to that case study in the presence of recruiters. Let's just, for example, you want to work in a banking industry. There are many issues, married of issues we have had. He asked them, all the strengths of US problem. The other issues, can you imagine those issues are over 20 quoting codes. And then you now model solutions, proven solutions to them. And the recruiter sees these are the problems that is affecting their bank. And you are the one that came up with solution. Does he need to go anywhere? The question is we are negotiating the price they pay. Because it's proven. And they have tried. The irony of this business is that the people will try to get the right message. They won't get it. You see the right message. Why would you pay you? So that's why we say it's guaranteed. We are guaranteeing anybody who plays because it's a case study. And at the end of the presentation, you know that watch are the recruiters.
Thank you very much, sir. So to take the last question online before we ask anyone physically here to ask any other questions. So we have someone asking, when is the next course start date? That is, when is the next intake? Okay, so being the registrar of the school, I would like to answer this question. So we are starting a new start date or a new course intake next year, January. So please, you can even register now. We decided to give a 10% discount to everyone who registers before now and ends today. It actually ends today. So if you want to study business analysis or business system analysis with Jozech Business School, please register today. You get 10% today. That is 10% discount. And after today, the cost fee remains 500,000 naira. Thank you very much. So, do we have any questions here physically? I think I've exhausted all the questions online. Anybody here has a physical question? All right. Oh, you have one. Okay, please let me give her the microphone. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Please, I would like to ask, is it necessary as a business analyst? Because if you go online, you'll be told you need to be a data analyst, do SQL, do and a lot of programming. And for someone like me who doesn't have any background, I'm a teacher, so you can imagine.
No, that's why the internet is confusing.
Yeah, yeah, that's
The
why.
internet is confusing. Me, I did business analysis. It doesn't. All you need to do is to logical reason. Logic. And that's why we're using the case tool, UML. UML has been proven to educate your mind, show you locations. And then the case tool we're using is great, you can read it. You can read. Okay. Great is what we're using. There are 12 diagrams. These 12 diagrams deal with different aspects of the issue. So all you need to do is to master them to solve a particular problem. But before you get started, we'll take you on the business side of things. All right? Not in a deep manner. To tell you when you see a problem, to be able to know whether this one does it require re-engineering. Or this re-engineering when you have legacy system. You want to model it in such a way that it will work with the latest and because you can't throw away your good project.
So, sir, you don't need any background knowledge in
No, all you need to do logical. Logical, and it's instructor led. We need the one that. Okay. So it's instructor led so that you master it. And then you now begin to see because if you do notation, notation has the ability to make things easy to understand. And then when you now get yourself to understand it, then you keep on improving. Because business analysis is not something you teach and then you read and go and sit down. It's something that you do. And then you'll be watching the latest trend in technology. And then watching the latest business. Right? And then your ability to see something, you now know exactly what is the business model. And then you know whether this will need to engineer whatever they're doing, whether they need to improve. So, but these are things you practice. It's not something you read. Internet will tell you confusion. What are you analyzing data? When you are in between the owners of the business and the developer, you are the one that represents their views. Let me show that because the major thing in any business is foreign. Everything any business is doing is to make money. 2, market share. 3, customer service. And 4, employee consumption. So can you imagine these areas? And then you're now telling them what you're doing, what is it heavy in this 4 areas? So it doesn't require that you name data. No, because I told you that business analysis is the divided into different areas. You have operations. Hmm? You have a project. You have different areas in business analysis. Requirement engineering. Alright? So which area that you are very good at? Yeah? No, anywhere you are very good at the focus because it encompasses such area. The reason why you say a project because you will lead the project. You will be leading the project of members of the team and the developers. You'll be the one that makes sure interactive. What they are doing is in line with what you want. So you can see that somebody can be a good project manager. The best project managers are business analysts. So it depends on the area you want to move on. If you want to go into enterprise, if you want to go into community analysis, there are so many areas of it. So it doesn't require data. But that doesn't mean you will know data. Because the good thing about let me just give you an example. If you grow in this state and you know class diagram, let me give you an example. Class diagram is based on a database. And then once you say this is the class diagram, you do it very well. Click the button, generate the code. Those have gone where people sit down and write the code and run it. You can generate the code and it will run, no runtime error. So that's the power of different tools. So when they say you need to do that, no, that's not the thing.
Thank you very much. It's clear now.
Yeah, do that.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Please, I want to ask what's the timeline, the duration for this course?
6 weeks. It's 6 weeks. It could be more, but it's 6 weeks or 5 days. Naturally, some people may say 6 weeks is too, but if you do intensive 6 weeks, but that's all things really, all things. If you have distraction, because the case study, it is not based on teaching. Did you solve the case study? Is there any area? Because that is the employment report. If I, for example, now, I give you a case study almost 20 minutes, all the problem is you do, and then you'll not be able to specify solutions, real solutions, tested, and you tell them that they should come for a presentation. When they fill up this, you want to work in the telecom business. It's something, right? If you want to work any industry you choose, we tell all the case study to that industry.
So is it just weekdays or just weekends?
She will work out with
Okay,
it
she work from
because most times it's instructor led. Because the reason, the way my primary discussion with her, she said 3 days. The remaining 2 days you do it on your own. But I was thinking that it requires every day because it's intensive, something that somebody has not done. Somebody has to guide you. Because the 12 diagrams, each of them is tough. But the important is, if we are following because we are doing with the software, we're not reading it. So if you don't get it right, you can't move to the next. But if somebody shows you how to do it, it becomes easier and fun. So that's why I say 6 weeks. So 6 weeks of intensive one-to-one. And the way he specified it, he says he can ask for money to you. But he now says he can spend it out 3 days a week. But that's for her to work out. But the good thing is that the first, even if we have to break or reduce the days, the first 3 weeks will be intensive. So that's it, 6 weeks. So by the end of the day, that's what that money is going to. But you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. Any other question?
to further answer the last question regarding the extension, the duration of the class. Yes, so Barrister Chita said it, the principal said it very well. So we've made it very flexible. Although, yes, as I said, it's 6 weeks. 6 weeks with a particular curriculum and a particular timetable. You understand? But then, because we understand professionals can be busy at work and maybe those that have families and kids they need to take care of. So we work on you with your time. So just as he has explained, it depends on how dedicated you are. But the good thing about the school is we also have a 24/7 student support that mentors you. So you get calls from time to time asking, what's up with your case study? How far have you gone? And it's so important that those first 3 weeks are intensive because you are grasping a new topic. You need to really know, you need to delve into it deeply first. Then you take your time, you can space it out. So, but we work with you on flexibility. But have it in mind that it's a 6 weeks course. So you need to also be very dedicated to ensure you graduate on time. So basically that's it. So sir, while we were taking questions. First, I'd like to welcome those that joined us physically while we're taking questions. You're all welcome. Then, also, another question dropped in online. This will be the last question. So, this person is asking that you mentioned that you're going to use Crate, and then there are organizations out there that use various tools, not just quickly. So how then do they manage getting a job, maybe when they are interviewed for jobs in another organization that uses maybe, for example, Power BI or Agile or something? How do they integrate that knowledge
No,
into the organization?
thank you so much. The tool of credit, like any other tool, is based on UML. All they did is that the diagrams they mentioned UML in credit are the same. All they did is that how they did their notation. So if you understand the principles and you understand the principles of it, you can do anything. Agile is part of the training. But Agile gives you an opportunity to know how to interact. If you're going for project management, remember that I said different aspects of business analysis. If you're going to project management, Agile is the best because it gives you the opportunity to go for that back and forth iteration. Then all these tools are the same. They are based on the same modeling principles. Once you know one, as I know credit, I can do rational rules, I can do smart draw, you can do anyone. All you need to do is to do what? See the way they did their notation. Alright? It's like somebody who understands graphic design. You know how to use correct because you can easily do and do, is it not? But Adobe has an advantage over correct, but that does not mean that they don't look up. So it's something. It's something and we'll give you the flexibility. It's not based, no, you see, the question is, it's not based on tools. It is based on the case study. Let me give you an example so people will know how it works. You know, when you say somebody went to, they just say, Oxford. Why is it that they go there and the people respect it? Because they don't come say you're doing a business and master's in business analysis. You don't go there, they sit you down and be teaching you. They give you a case study. So every day you join a tutorial group where your friends will discuss. Every Friday you come for tutorial work or whatever. End of the day you come and present how you solve that business problem. It could be up to 100 minutes. And you are presenting before a recruiter. Immediately you finish, immediately you finish presentation. That's why they offer you half. They don't offer you because you are speaking grammar. Because they say the person who can solve this problem can solve it all. I'll give you an example. When I did my OND, you know, we finished in our class, although it wasn't like high up there. The recruiters were there, but find that person was that number. So if this is a modern trend, it's based on case study. Nigeria has still taken up tools. Nobody. What are you doing with tools? If you know how to use the tools, if you master UML, know how to use it, you can deal with any tools. Because they are based on the same UML. UML is the standard document. But all they did is that they all create different notation. But if you understand, like for example, there are 12 diagrams, you understand what is structure diagram, and you understand what is behavioral diagram. Once you go to any of them, you see how they deal with it. Okay, this one created the atom, the antenna. This is the diagram. You will see the same interaction. This is how you automated it. Why did they automate? What did they use to automate? It could be artificial intelligence or machine learning. Immediately you will know it. So it's based on case study. The emphasis is on case study. The emphasis is not on tools. The tools is what you use to solve the case study. So it doesn't matter whether you use Shabli, smart draw, or credit. But the important thing that you understood how to model solutions.
Thank you very much, sir. So to also add to what the principal said, yes, tools get outdated. That's what they should know. Tools will keep coming in. People will keep developing tools. Today we have Agile, Scrum, Power BI, and the likes. Tomorrow, someone will come up with another tool. Next year, another tool will come out, and some of these tools will become outdated. They say Scrum is no longer effective in analyzing data and giving solutions. So the emphasis really is not on the tools, it's on your ability to be analytical, ability to be logical enough to understand business problems and also be able to give solutions based on the data given. So thank you all so much for your questions. Thank you for your time. We've now come to the end of the information session. And on behalf of the management, I would like to thank everyone for joining us physically and online. We love your questions. We appreciate your time. We do not take this for granted, and we hope that from here on out we'll have a very rich student educator relationship with you. So to take it further, if anyone would like to have a one-on-one session with the principal, maybe to discuss further on the topic, you need more insights, more understanding of what Joseph Business School offers, please just wait behind and then I would usher you accordingly. And for everyone online, if you would also like to maybe see the principal at any point in time, you can visit us at our office, 23 Body Thomas Road. When you come in, we'll book you an appointment and also you get your time with the principal. Thank you all so much. We're moving on to refreshments, but before we all disperse, let's take the closing prayer. Um, in Jesus' name. Almighty Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful session. We thank you for all those who joined online and physically. We thank you for the questions. We thank you for the answers given. We thank you for the insights. We thank you for those who will launch into this career. And we thank you for the opportunities you've made available. We thank you for Joseph Business School. And we thank you for what you will do through this school. We give you all glory. We put the many parts of our days into your hands to total control in the mighty name of Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you on the next sessions or next events we'll have. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Joseph Business School. Follow us on our social media pages at Joseph Business School as well. We have other services we offer, but once you join in, once you subscribe, once you follow us, you will see everything. Thank you so much and enjoy your day. Goodbye. Bye.